Alright guys, so I made it to the lake today and I'm going to get after it. So the very first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to get on my app and I'm going to get on my maps and I'm going to kind of cruise through here and look for any kind of suspicious structure where I think there might be fish. Then I'm going to go ahead and drill at it and see if I can't pick them up. But early in the morning I always start shallow. I always start 10 foot or less, and then in the evening I start 10 foot or less, kind of work my way out as the afternoon goes, and then as it gets closer to evening I start to push my way closer to shore, because in theory those fish are coming in to feed. So yep, that's the plan for today. I'll probably spend quite a bit of the afternoon in 30 plus foot of water, because that's kind of where they go and hang out. So we're going to get out here and start in about 12 foot and work our way out to right around 21 foot. Fish is 21 foot flat for a little bit, and then we're headed out to deeper water here very soon. So plan for today is to do some practice for the tournament, because I was kind of caught off guard just because I was fishing other lakes all last week. I was caught off guard during the tournament. We're doing decent right now. We're in fourth place, 2 points behind third place, and there's a pretty good gap between second and first place from us. But yeah, we're going to keep at it. I'm going to get some practice in this week and hopefully get on the fish. So when they're not biting in one place, I know where to go next Saturday, or this Saturday anyway. So all right, guys, man, that's coming up. I'll be fishing my tournament any day here. But all right, guys, we'll see you very soon. Appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we get a big one, right? Hopefully I can walk you guys through this. All right, we'll see you soon.
All right, guys. So I was going to talk a little bit of tackle real fast. So since I'm fishing in 40 foot of water, I'm just going to run a straight LED, Kodiak Customs LED, with a single voodoo shrimp. But if I was in shallower where there was a little bit more light where I was fishing, I would use this little contraption right here you see. You've probably seen this a few times here recently. Basically, it's just an LED hooked onto a Seps Dodger or a spoon. People are hooking them onto spoons with a little leader, a little voodoo shrimp. I kind of copycatted this off the guys at Three Rivers. They were doing something similar to this with a little shrimp fly on there. Seems to be working pretty well for them, so I figured, hey, I was doing some sight fishing the other day and I wasn't able to see this LED Dodger as well as I would have liked to. So I decided to add a little bit of flash to it. And when you're in shallow water, that makes a big difference, guys. You got to get those fish's attention. If you can get them over to you, there's a good chance you can get them to bite. But since I don't have that light down there in 40 foot, I'm just going to go with just a straight LED and keep it as finessey as I can, because that LED is going to be shining bright down there in 40 foot of water, because it's going to be really dark. So you figure that LED is just flashing, 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 just really kicking up a good attractant, and then they come in and see the nice little voodoo shrimp. It's always best to have less stuff on your line as possible, I think, in order to get these big ones to bite. But that's why I'm running just a solo LED. You could be running the Dodger and the LED here too, because one thing it does give you is it gives you a little bit of rattle with that LED bouncing around and stuff. It makes a little bit of noise, which is always good too, you know, because fish have senses, you know. They sense movement, they sense vibration, they see, they have tons and tons of different senses they use. And as long as you can kind of target those senses, you'll be good to go. All right, we're going to see how 40 foot's going to do. One thing I will tell you guys, if you guys ever decide to fish over 50 foot, braid is a good thing when you're fishing deep water. When you get anything over 50 foot, you got some delay in your reaction time. So when you set that hook, you're always a little behind, because you got so much stretch in your monofilament that it always makes it tough. You always seem just a little behind when you're fishing pretty deep with monofilament. So if you're a deep fisherman or you're fishing lake trout, I would definitely recommend running braid. It's just a better option. But for me, I fish a lot of shallow water, so I like that stretch because I get a lot less break-offs, a lot less straightened jig heads and stuff like that when I'm running mono and I got a little bit of give. As far as rods go, this is what I'm looking for right here. This right here is my very favorite rod. I have several really nice rods, but this one's going to be my favorite. This is a Fraybill medium action, 4 to 8 pound, 30-inch rod. It comes in a rod and reel combo with a Fraybill reel. But this right here, see that right there? See how it loads up right there? All the way down. It loads up over here in the handle. And that's what I really like about this rod. Especially if you're videoing, you get some good, you know, it's a really good video rod for sure. But a lot of guys have asked me, you know, what do you use for rods? So this Fraybill medium action 4 to 8 pound, 30-inch is a good one. The nice thing about a 30-inch is when you're going to clear your deucer out of the hole, if you got a 40-inch rod like this, when you're clearing your deucer, you're like this, and there's a good chance you're going to lose that fish. This right here is another good rod. This is a custom 3 River G2 blank. Really nice setup. I got just a kind of a, it's not a battery, it'll just Shakespeare on there, but I got a few presidentials I'm running. But yeah, this right here is what you're looking for in a rod. That right there. If it loads up, look, this thing loads up just all in the back here, which always gives you a perfect hook set. Hey, what's up guys? So I am moving again. So far I've tried 20 foot flats, couldn't find them. I tried deep, 40 plus foot, couldn't find them. So now I am headed to structures. I'm gonna try to get on some structures. The way I have not been seeing fish in 20 foot or 40 foot really leads me to believe that they're on structure today. Honestly guys, this is probably my very favorite part of ice fishing, is just being out on these ice roads, cruising these big lakes, hunting the fish down with my maps. I mean, that's just all part of the experience. You know, you get out here, don't be afraid to explore. You're always going to find your way out. Alright guys, I got a stinking giant fish. I'm all tangled up. Alright, there we go. Woo! Holy moly, it's a big boy. It's a big boy. Holy smokes. I knew it. I'm in here hunting big fish. Yeah! Close. He's close. Stupid headphones. Oh, I don't want too much tension on him when he takes off here at the hole. So I gotta keep my drag just perfect. Just perfect. I've seen him. I've seen him. Here he is. Oh yeah. Look at that fish. Look at that fish. Bam! Got him on the Glow Voodoo Shrimp. Yeah! Hey everybody. So I have quite a few people ask me, how do you jig? What's your jigging technique? And all I can tell you guys is the very best thing you can do for your jigging is when you show up to a place and you put a new artificial bait on your line, lay down in the hole and give yourself a little few hand twitches and kind of look down there to see how that jig reacts, how it moves. And once you kind of get that, you know, see that visual of how that thing does, you know, either it does this or it bops or, you know, it'll do something that it's designed to do. And once you see that with your eyes, you'll be able to adjust your jigging technique. And each tube, each jig has its own technique. I tend to really like the voodoo shrimp. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about voodoo shrimp, but you can ask my teammate for the SEO. That's all I run these days. And the theory behind the voodoo shrimp is that these fish are tired. The oxygen levels are low. They don't have a whole lot of energy. The oxygen's what gives them that spunk, that drive to get out there and feed. So they don't want to chase something around that's zipping around, and your average tube's gonna, even on just a little tiny tick, is gonna take about a 10 to 12 inch swoop. It's basically gonna swoop, 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 swim circles, and those char, they'll take 1 or 2 swipes at that, and if they miss it, they ain't gonna waste energy on keep chasing that thing down. They're gonna try to find something that's a little easier to catch, a little easier to eat. And just like any animal, anything, they're going to preserve their energy. So basically, the voodoo shrimp does a nice vertical jig, 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 slow fall, jig, 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 slow fall, jig, 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 slow fall. And basically what that does is gives the fish ability to predict where that jig's going to be at a certain time. So the reason I use voodoo so much is because they're very slow action. In my opinion, they're a great finesse fishing deal. They look really good. Like I was just looking down my hole with my tubes just swimming circles. But my voodoo jig, it's just perfect. Looks so natural, guys, I'm telling you. And it has such a slow fall to it and such a slow action to it. But at the same time, it has a lot of action, a lot of that tail kicking, tail kick, tail kick. So that's why I'm so voodoo shrimp, guys. It's nothing against anybody, you know. I love tube baits, and I use tube baits, and I still use tube baits. I was just using the tube bait, but I marked a fish, and he was tired. You could tell he was tired, and he just didn't want to bite it. So it's that time of year where we got to slow everything down a little bit and give those fish more of a chance to find us. You know, beginning of season is really all about drill, drill, drill. Every 7 holes, you're going to drop it on one's head. But this time of year, not so much. You know, you really got to just kind of stay put and give the fish a chance to find you. And if you're marking fish and not getting to the bite, then it's time to move. Yeah, he is. He's pretty long. Oh, he's kind of cool, actually. Dude, Dude, that was crazy. That was a deformed char, dude. I didn't even get a good picture of him.